Hi, everyone.
Hi, we're still in A People for His Name and In Search of Christian Freedom by Ray Franz. What about those proof texts, John 17:6 and 26? We still have comments coming to us on the channel about, yes, but he said, I have made your name known. Mm-hmm. So, Ray has something to say about that, having written several of the key articles on the name over the decades, both in the Aid book and in the Watchtower. So Ray says, a few years after the Aid to Bible Understanding book was completed, the research I had done in connection with the sense of the word name provided the basis for an article appearing in the February 15, 1973 issue of the Watchtower titled, Why Does Faith in the Name of Jesus Christ Bring Life? And another in the May 1, 1973 Watchtower titled, What Does God's Name Mean to You? Virtually all the points relative to the deeper sense of the term name that have thus far been considered are presented in those articles. Among other things, the second article cited discussed Jesus' prayer on the night before his death, in which he said to his Father, quote, I have made your name manifest to the men you gave me out of the world. Watch over them on account of your own name, which you have given me. And I have made your name known to them and will make it known. End of quote.
After asking in what way Jesus made God's name known to his apostles, the following comment in Albert Barnes' Notes Explanatory and Practical on the Gospels, published in 1846, was quoted. Quote, the word name in these verses includes the attributes or character of God. Jesus had made known his character, his law, his will, his plan of mercy. Or in other words, he had revealed God to them. The word name is often used to designate the person. End of quote. After that quotation, this Watchtower article then made the following comments. Quote, so, as Jesus explained the Father by his own entire perfect life course on earth, he was really making God's name known. He demonstrated that he spoke with God's full backing and authority. Jesus could therefore say, he that has seen me has seen the Father also. God's name thus took on greater meaning to his early followers. End of quote.
While this Watchtower article of May 1, 1973 contained a number of statements that reflected many basic views of the Watchtower organization that are actually sectarian in nature, nonetheless, I believe it is true to say that as a whole, it accurately pointed to the biblical sense of the word name. The article regularly stressed that doing things in God's name meant far more than the mere use or pronunciation of the name Jehovah. It might be of interest to persons today to review that material. Though what I wrote in this article was approved by the organization for publication, and though, to my knowledge, never refuted, the Watchtower magazine has never since contained information of this kind. Its articles manifest an almost total disregard for the principle they're presented with biblical support.
In condemning those whom it would classify as apostates, the Watchtower magazine cites as one proof of their apostasy that they do not give the same importance to the use of the name Jehovah as does the Witness organization. In addition to what has already been presented here, there is much more evidence that shows that if the Watchtower organization's use of the term is the right one, exemplifying the proper honor for God's name, then this would also make Christ and his apostles apostates.
Indeed. He has a footnote on other translations of those key verses, John 17:6 and 26. He says, several translations demonstrate recognition of this idea, that is, that the name stands for the person or the character, so that in rendering the above verses of John chapter 17, rather than I have made your name manifest, they read, I have revealed you, and that's the NIV. I have made you known, that's today's English version. I have brought you honor, that's Phillips. I have revealed your real self, that's the American translation. So Christendom is long known, as Barnes exemplifies here back in 1846, that the name stands for the character, the attributes.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with Ray when he says at the end of this that you, basically in calling those who reject this idea that the name means the Tetragrammaton, those who reject this and go to, well, more or less the Orthodox Christian way of using it as character, and therefore really obey the New Testament or follow the example of the New Testament, including Jesus, calling them apostates, well, you've just basically said the entire New Testament church, including Christ himself, is apostate. So we want to put a link into a video we did on this very passage, John 17, about what is that name that Christ said he has made known. And in the context, you not only have this idea of the character of God, the full range of attributes of God, but you also have a designation. So in the next segment, Ray's going to discuss what that designation is that was preferred by Jesus Christ himself.